Hello everyone, my name is Uta and I work with digital twins of the ocean, very important, in the EUs project. I always start my talks with this slide and I always start by saying the ocean is beautiful, so why on earth do we need a digital representation or even a digital twin for it? And this is important, but because we all live with the ocean. You have heard now what we do with the ocean, but 10% of all people in the world will never see the ocean. And now I am presenting to you how we can communicate digital twins of the ocean and why I work with digital twins of the ocean, because I want to communicate what is going on in the ocean and how we can use this technology to live with this ocean more sustainably. Digital twins of the ocean go far beyond just ocean models, just ocean data, and I don't want to diminish this, but digital twins of the ocean bring this all together, and they include very much this decision-making, the human in the loop. So somebody has to do something with the twins, otherwise I wouldn't want to make them. And I actually use this yellow buoy in the Trondheim fjord to learn, and I use the data to learn how to make digital twins. In this talk, I will talk to you about the work that my colleagues or my project partners in the EUs project have done. So it's really not just my work, or not at all my work, but work that other people have done. So I was so lucky to have spent 1 year in Germany at Fraunhofer, and I was living in Warnemünde. And what they found in front of the coast of Warnemünde is this tugboat. And this tugboat is now lying there. It was observed by divers. And of course, it's degrading. It's in salt water. So it's degrading. And now in 2022, people started, we kind of have to preserve it. And it's difficult. Probably when you want to pick it up, it will discontinue or it will break. So they had this initiative to digitalize it. So this is now another view. This is called augmented reality. So in addition to all these pictures that they took and stitched together, they put this now in a gaming environment and added augmented reality. So now you can have an idea how this tugboat might have looked like. And it's one way of preserving this. They have also found some artifacts on this boat. And now you can see how you can use your gaming environment. Now you see these handles that these gaming people know how to work with. And now you can even pick up things and you can inspect them and see what they look like. And we have the torch in the one hand and you can pick it up and now see how nicely it falls to the bottom when it's released. So like, it's going down to the seafloor. So they also found a radio, so you can inspect this radio. And there are several things that they found on this tugboat, and this is now their way of preserving it. This is visible at a museum. You can also go on a website, and you can work with these models and rotate them and work with this. So this is another way of augmented reality. This is another view. Now you can have a look at this tugboat, how it might really have looked like. But at the same time, you can use your torch and see how it really looks like now. So you have this comparison between these two versions of this tugboat. So this is very exciting, and it's a very exciting use of gaming technology to bring things from the ocean to people. We would have never seen this if these people hadn't done it the way they have made it now. And now it's accessible to very many people. And to us here. And I think by now we are all very excited what is inside this boat and what happens, and if there happens something when we click on these little eyes that are there. And of course they are. So these are information pieces where you can click on all these eyes and they give you information about the area you are in. So this is in German now, but it says there has been there was this thing that you could pass food and items through between the people in the kitchen and the other ones. But all these things that you see in the water, these have been decided or invented by the person who has programmed this. So these are not real. They might look like they looked on this on this picture, but they are not reality. So how great would it be if we could have this information from a digital twin of this ocean area? So it was really real data. We could see how this looks like. So this is an example from my project partners from Bronner University who try to visualize the particles that we have, because we have a particle camera on the yellow buoy who is measuring particles in the ocean. And we are very much concerned about, are these good particles that belong there? So we had from Uriel, there's zooplankton wandering around, commuting. That's okay. But there's also microplastic, there is oil. So we would like to know where they go. So we use Ocean Model to see that. This is a way of modeling or visualizing these particles. But we still haven't seen anything yet about the ocean itself. So this is another example. This is collaboration from Bronner University and Fraunhofer. This is now a visualization of a wind farm. And this wind farm is there. So the geometry of these wind turbines, where they are placed in the ocean, how much wave there are, how much wind there is right now, how much visibility you have. This is all coming from the digital twin. So this is real data. It's coming in via an API. Which means it's an interface, a machine-to-machine interface, and it's fed by this. So in usual gaming, you can go through this. Now you can inspect these wind turbines. You can tell these procedural ocean how many wind turbines there are, how they should look like. There are also other wind parks with other wind turbines. Now we take this away because we want to simulate a what-if scenario. And this is the reason why we are doing these digital twins. We want to understand, are things possible, or what happens if we are doing things in the ocean? So this is now an installation procedure of this kind of wind turbine. We are still just in a gaming environment. So this is now simulating the installation of this wind turbine, and we can use this digital twin in this visualization to study, is this operation actually possible or is it not? So currently we have good weather, no waves, almost no wind. So this is really cool. Yes, it's very good. And now we are manually changing the weather. So now we can say, make it a bit worse, for example, and how the same situation would look, the same scenario would like in bad weather. So now the visibility is worse, and soon it will start raining a lot. And then this operation might be harder. I want to transfer this kind of procedural ocean to aquaculture. Aquaculture is still an industry in Norway where we have a lot of deaths, a lot of accidents, things that we don't want to happen. This is another example I made that yesterday. So it was the real weather in a German wind park yesterday that came into this digital twin representation of this. And of course, I didn't like this, so I changed now the weather the other way around, took away the clouds, and made the weather better. So this is what you can do in gaming environments. But I think it's really cool that you can feed these environments from real data to inspect and to see how it might look like. So now the weather's nice again. Another thing I have worked a lot of previously with is oil spills. And for oil spills, it's immensely important not only to know where the oil is, but for the responders, it's immensely important how the oil looks like, because that tells you something, what kind of oil it is and how much oil there is. So this is currently not too realistic because they haven't worked together with us yet, but we can already see that it is possible to visualize oil on the sea surface in different weather conditions to give people and responders an idea about how does it look like, what is the situation like that I'm going to. So this is what oil looks like when it's much thinner and very much more in the water column than on the sea surface. And again, I can play with the weather or with the waves. That is very important also for oil spill contingency response. And I can use this to communicate the situation out there, maybe much better than I can, or than I could have done before. So this is kind of these gaming environments. Now we come to the next thing. I'm kind of obsessed with metahumans. I'm not sure if you heard about metahumans. I find them really, really cool. And I think it's the mathematician in me who tries to grasp how something as complex as the face can be realized in these metahumans. So metahumans is something that the gaming industry has invented because they need humans in their games. And they have a set of humans that you can choose from. And then you can use these humans that you have to create your own metahuman. And I always want to create myself. So this is me, or it's supposed to be me. It's not yet me. So people are shaking their heads. But I'm really trying to do me. So you can either mix yourself from several humans that are already there, or you can go through this menu and then really try and to correct the different forms of your face to make it look like you. And I find that really cool because this metahuman is already animated, so it can do a lot of things. It has all these face movements, all these things are already there. And why I want a metahuman? Yes, I want this to include into my digital twin. So how cool would it be if you could ask me about the ocean? Or another metahuman, of course. But how nice would it be? A person you can trust can tell you something about the ocean within a digital twin. For example, here for our Trondheim Fjord, explain you what the buoy is for, and why we're doing this, what happens with sound in the ocean. Wouldn't that be amazing? And it is actually possible to make this better. I learned that yesterday, so I will need a new computer to do this, but it includes photogrammetry. So this is a real good example. So my project partner in Ditto Digital Twins of the Ocean is the UN Global Decade Program for digital twins. They have used that for the Shaman summit last year. Shaman is a town that's very close to Taiwan. And they made, similarly, like we are operating here in the Trondheim Fjord, they made a digital twin of Shaman Bay. And they trained a large language model to be able to answer questions about the area there. And they have this little metahuman down there, and you could ask this metahuman the questions about this ocean area based on a large language model. Or we do it like my project partner Wavek, and let people explain.
Hello. My name is Wavika and I am here to showcase the STOMP application, developed by WaveEC within the Iliad EU project. As part of the digital twin of the ocean, it consists of a tool for the optimization of short-term operation and maintenance planning of offshore wind farms. These activities contribute up 25% of the total levelized cost of energy of offshore production. It is thus crucial to minimize operational costs.
So we can have a digital human explaining digital solutions to us. So the last example that I want to give is from Varna Bay. Varna Bay is a port in Bulgaria where they have huge challenges with safe sailing into that harbor. It's often very low visibility and there are tricky wind conditions in the sectors of this harbor. So what they did is they made an application using these Google glasses so that actually the captains can sail in the dark or while being blind. So now you see this tested in real live conditions. So you see the buoy in the channel and you see the virtual reality version of that. So this is now really used, and it's then enhanced also by more photogrammetry to make the overall picture complete. And this can easily be transferred to each port that we say that has challenges when sailing. For example, also to the Trondheim Fjord, we know often that the boats cannot come to the harbor here because of the rough conditions, and then they have to go to Ila. And I would like to close with a quote from Leonard Bernstein: "The work of art does not answer questions, it provokes them. Its essential meaning is in the tension between contradictory answers." I find that very often that it's hard to communicate, even to the next generation, our kids, how important it is that we understand the ocean and we work with the ocean very sustainably. So I think using art to have as many access points to the ocean as we can have, as many as we want, as many as we need, is very crucial. And also I use Delhi for my art, and by this I would like to thank you.